Check, check.
Mic check 1, 2.
I'd like to see you try.
Okay, I think we're good to get started here.
Good to get started?
Yeah. Hey, yep.
Can't wait to. Let's go.
Coming at you live via Gramrphone and AWAL from the studios at Lionheart Sound Company in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. Welcome to this live and intimate performance of More Harm, the latest album from Canadian rockers, the Honest Heart Collective. Like Liars Club and Grief Rights before it, More Harm grapples with familiar themes of relationship struggles, self-doubt, desperation, death, and identity, all while remaining steadfastly hopeful in its execution. Relentlessly committed to their craft, undeniably authentic in their intent, and brutally honest in their truth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Ryan, Nick, Kevin, and Jay, the Honest Heart Collective.
Wow, Bob.
Thanks for having us, Bob, in our own studio.
And-
Thanks for
and
coming.
Thanks for having me.
Dude. That's a nice write-up.
Thanks.
We were supposed to just go right into the song.
Oh.
Yeah, Nick.
That's all right.
Well, you know.
That's okay.
You know, we prepped for this all of what,
You know
3
that
days,
sound.
4 days?
Yeah, not even.
Not even.
Cheers to Bob.
Cheers
Cheers,
to
Bob.
Bob.
Thanks,
so
guys.
much, and thanks if there's anyone listening right now. Cheers to you.
We got some people on the line. All right, boys. We're gonna dive right into it now.
Yeah.
All right. This is I Heard You're Worried About Me.
I heard you worried about me, and rightfully so. I've been strangling myself to stop the words that in my throat. 'Cause it's not my place to talk about the hurt that I only impose. I smile softly, nod my head, and let you know I'm okay, don't you mind? Life's been great, I'm just tired. Though my eyes can barely hide that there's no fire. See, I'm okay, besides the truth, no, I can't escape my fleeting youth. What's a broken voice like mine got left to prove? Ho! I've been a little distracted, to no one's fault but my own. I guess I'm scared I can't compare or measure up to my heroes. I'm okay, don't you mind? Life's been great, I'm just tired. Though my eyes can barely hide that there's no fire. See, I'm okay, besides the truth, no, I can't escape my fleeting youth. What's a broken voice like mine got left to prove? Is there a broken voice in you? And in this voice of mine, some hurt, more harm, ever opposing sides. Thought it would heal if I stayed quiet. I'm sorry we haven't spoken in a while. I'm okay, don't you mind? Life's been great, I'm just tired. Though my eyes can barely hide that there's no fire. See, I'm okay, Besides the truth, no, I can't escape my fleeting youth. What's a broken voice like mine got left to prove? What's a broken voice like mine got left to prove? What's a broken voice like mine? Is there a broken?
Yes.
I can hear your applause. I can hear it.
You can hear it, right?
I can hear it all.
I can hear it all. It's coming in all sorts of forms on YouTube at the moment. That song completely sets the tone for the album. I mean, it's...
I knew it would.
You knew it would, eh, Nick? There might have been an inside discussion here beforehand that you guys weren't privy to with that comment. It actually holds the title of the album in that song. The lyric, and in this voice of mine, some hope, more harm, ever opposing sides. How did that end up as the title of the album?
Okay, so we love that name. There's a song somewhere
There's
in
a
the
song
ether
named after that
called More Harm.
that never made the record.
What?
Didn't make the cut,
We didn't get around to doing it.
but we loved the name so much for like as More Harm, and I was like ruminating on that for a long time. Like, that is such a sick name. And initially it was just gonna be an EP.
Right.
So like the idea of like having grief rights and then the follow-up being called More Harm just seemed really complete to me and to all of us.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of how the name went. I usually have do this funny thing where we pick the album name that we really like, and then even if there's not a song named after it, like there wasn't a song named Grief Rights on Grief Rights,
Right.
And then I just find a way to shoehorn that name into a lyric.
Nice.
And so when we were doing it, doing the bridge to this tune, and it was coming up with the part for it, I just that sort of just spilled out, and in this voice of mine, some hope, more harm, ever opposing sides, and it just kind of worked.
The fact that you worked that in after the fact?
Came together in like a weird order.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That song in general came together in a super strange way.
it did, eh?
Like, yeah.
And
Multiple iterations. So many.
And so I want to talk about this a bit because it's the latest single, and that video is insane. You filmed it down in Flamborough at
Yeah.
Flamborough Speedway.
Yeah, we did. Our buddy Travis Didluck directed it, and he absolutely crushed it as far as we're concerned. I think it's one of the best videos that we've done to date.
Hands down, it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and
it's
I
all
mean,
Travis.
Ryan, showing your acting chops a little bit.
It's easy for me to look stressed out. I'm just myself,
Well, and it's funny because it has that beaten, not broken vibe to the song, and it just translates itself so well in that video. That video came together just 100 times better than I could have ever imagined what the video for that song would look like.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's just that that whole sort of message about just setbacks and being beat down and rejected and in the music industry, and then us clawing our way back to it being about the music again, and that was really important for us. And so that at the big ending part, that's where we're all rocking out in a circle together playing again.
Yeah. If you guys haven't checked it out, you're on YouTube right now, so you know how to get to YouTube. So
You can
take a
listen
look.
to two things at once.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody's got cell phones.
Yeah. Do you guys feel that videos are still a necessity? Do you think is it a necessary evil, or do you guys enjoy I think I know Jay's answer to this, so I won't even look his way, but
I don't even know my answer.
no?
Yeah.
On the spot.
I think it's kind of tough. to that.
There's some
Do
wise
I think
words.
they're necessary? Yes and no. I feel like it's just another way for people to check you out, but
Mhm.
they don't yield the same amount of attention like they used to
Right.
back in
Watching
Yeah,
music.
there's just like
back
not the
in the day and-
platforms anymore to present them.
There's so much
Right.
noise, right?
Yeah.
There's so many videos. There's so many bands, so many people pushing like their own visual aesthetic and everything. But you can't have that unless you do a music
Right.
video. You
Right.
can't have a really cool aesthetic that suits what you're doing unless you
Unless you
Put-
do it
put
It's
yourself.
true,
yourself
yeah.
behind making a
Huge
video.
part of your brand marketing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is who we are. This is who we want to be. This is what we want to look like.
exactly.
This is how we're going to spread our message. But also, YouTube is like the biggest community on the internet.
Right.
You know? So if you're not a part of it in some way, whether it's music videos or vlogs or, whatever people are doing on YouTube, like you have to be a part of it. So I do think like for us, music videos, live videos, like that's really it. Like that's our bread and butter, and that's all we can really offer to YouTube because we're not personalities.
Right.
Holy shit, we suck at this. Like even doing something like this is like so incredibly hard for us. So yeah, like we need music videos if we want to be a part of YouTube.
Right.
Everybody loves to go down the rabbit hole
Jay,
too.
you were
Yeah.
gonna say
Mhm. You know.
something?
Oh no, I was just thinking about the video on. There's like a self-fulfillment through it too. It's another creative outlet for us, and I think that video in general was a great way for us to feel like a band again, and to work on like the visual art of the song itself through that outlet. So it's not only for the fans; it also helps us to
Right.
We shot all 3 of the videos in 5 days.
Holy smokes.
Yeah,
And
we
that
shot
one in
11
particular, we were on a time crunch because
Yeah.
we were working against the sun.
The sun, yeah, you could tell. And I'm
they
like,
wanted
oh,
those shots, and it was pretty hectic to try and get all those
Yeah, it was a lot, but Travis, we had it timed perfectly.
Yeah.
Absolutely
There was a
perfectly.
lot of
It
thought.
couldn't have gone better.
You
And
can
it's just
see the sun going down in the video.
yeah.
I think the beauty
Yes, it's
behind that music video is just in the fact that it is so well done and so well looked after that it allowed us to create so many more advertisements based off of that video, and because it's so visually compelling, even in the 15 seconds, it still makes people come to our channels and come to our Instagram and pages, and we've gained a whole bunch of followers just from running that ad. So
That's one thing that you guys have done really well throughout all of your albums, but in particular this one, because like the early graphics of the cover of More Harm and animating those and getting those out on the internet, I mean, that's a grabber. That's an instant grab.
We thought that would be pretty neat.
It was very cool. It was very cool. And so all of that stuff set aside.
Oh, and one more thing to add.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got to drive the van and trailer around the racetrack.
Did
and
you?
I had a blast. And I don't think the guy that owns the racetrack actually wanted me to do it, but I did it anyways. And yeah, my tire treads are on that track. And
Awesome.
I just wanted to say that. I had a
Down
lot
to
of
Sound
fun.
of
Terrifying.
Flabberose.
Yeah,
we'll show the
terrifying.
video later.
Yeah. All right, let's dive into the next track. This was released almost 2 years ago
No,
now.
yeah, about a year and a half.
I guess
ago.
the technical release. But you guys premiered this song on my show.
on your show.
on LU Radio.
LU
You guys,
Radio.
it was
That's right.
it was a give back to the audience for raising money for LU Radio, and you guys premiered this song last March,
Yikes.
March of
Yikes.
2020.
Yikes. Shush, Bob.
All right,
Shush.
let's dive right into it.
Enough of that.
This is I almost did it again.
Yeah.
LimeWire.
This is
Line work. This is line work.
You had some of your own. Well, I had a few lines myself, and though we couldn't afford any of them, well, they still hurt like hell. As the ink fades now, it's easy to forget about the days we used to love. We were them passionate fools who defied every rule just to say we had enough. But it's a little too late now. I spent that summer alone. Yeah, I ran around without you. I miss that look in your eyes on them cool August nights. Who could forget that shade of blue? I watched a damn sunrise with you, but it's a little too late Now they run around just like you, with the look in their eyes I've seen so many times. When we were punks, yeah, we were fools. We'll always have these damn tattoos, but it's a little too late now. We had to find our way, and it's okay that we slowed it down. Though the ink may fade, our hearts stay the same, but it's a little too late now. We had to find our way. Though the ink may fade, our hearts stay the same.
A song about relationships and tattoos. Two things that really, my opinion only, shouldn't cross over.
Maybe.
Discuss.
It's not about matching tattoos.
No.
That's getting matching tattoos. We have matching
Wait, I was gonna
tattoos.
say
Oh, it's a terrible idea.
But yeah, it's not about loved ones matching tattoos. It's just about the connection and the bond that you have when we've all gone through a similar pain, but in a physical way, not just an emotional way.
Right.
That's so deep, dude.
That's very deep.
So
that was
deep.
more than I expected out of that.
Well, the song kind of stemmed from a friendship that I had that kind of just went separate ways, a little bit, just because of circumstance.
Right.
Nobody's fault, no fault to anybody. It just kind of happened that way, but we have since reconnected, and it feels so great.
Awesome. We got a couple of comments coming in on YouTube here. They want Lionheart vinyl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who
Hey,
could that
Dad.
be?
Who could that be? They want to know what you're drinking right now.
Oh.
I'm drinking water.
Yeah, just water.
I got a sneaky peach.
Yeah, we got some sneaky peach. Lake of the
drinking
Woods.
a
Lake of the Woods.
Shout out.
Drinking a Lakehead Light Lager, new brewery in town.
Mhm.
Just opened up.
Mhm.
It's quite delicious.
It's good.
Excellent.
Good
Some really
spot.
great beer.
Yeah, it's one of our new favorites in town. But yeah, this is a party. So it says in the name.
Right?
So we're-
What's everybody drinking at home?
Drop it in the comments. McNorth commented and said, I discovered the band through a YouTube rec and watched a video a few years ago now. Might have not listened if not for the video. So there's your...
See,
There's
there
our
you
There you
go.
go.
There's
Yeah.
the answer.
There it is.
Appreciate that, McNorth. Big time.
And then we also had Edward comment and ask about what should the hardcore Honest Heart Collective fans call ourselves.
Oh. I would just say like the collective or something. I don't know. I guess that's kind of like what we are. But
for
In
the
the
OGs,
beginning, it was
you
the
can call
Liars
you can call
Club,
yourself
right?
the Liars Club.
There it
Yeah.
is.
For the
Yeah,
OGs,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Um,
that was
that
the
would be like-
comment.
I'm in a Gaslight Anthem fan page, and the fan page is called Andy Diamond's something Street Choir. I forget what it's called.
dang, some
know.
fan you are.
I know. I don't pay attention as much as I should. But yeah, if that sounds like a good fan page name, like the Liars
The
Club.
Liars Club?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As like a secret thing,
I think that's kind of ideal. And I mean, it was already stated by Lionheart Vinyl. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
really didn't have a final say in that.
No.
It was already determined.
No, our parents did that for us.
Josie Hallbeck
Oh,
Josie.
Oh, Jose.
Hi.
just commented and said, I love the Honest Heart Collective tattoo. Talking about tattoos.
I love her.
Talking about
The Honest Heart
We
tattoos.
Collective.
love her.
tattoo.
Funny story. At our hometown gig, Josie and her husband Gary actually saved the show. Yeah,
They
because
did.
it was our first show with in-ear monitors,
Yep.
and we were getting all prepped up. And the night before, as we were doing our final tech rehearsal, my in-ears broke.
Oh.
And there was no pairs in Thunder Bay. And so I called her, and she picked up a pair in Calgary, and then they flew in for the gig the next day.
Oh my word.
So, Josie,
angel.
thank you very much for saving the show.
Mhm. All star.
That deserves some clapping on YouTube here. All right.
Oh, Kevin, with your hands, not your cheeks, brother.
Oh,
Fitness
that's
to do
that's
that.
the kind of night it's gonna be.
Yeah.
That's the kind of night it's
I'm
gonna be.
working on it, though.
We're fully nude.
We're all new.
That's why this is audio only.
Yes.
I don't know that the Liars Club is going to hold after that comment.
Yeah, true.
All right, let's dive into the next song. We got 1117 coming up next. This was released back in August.
Yep,
Yeah.
August 9th.
So Grief Rights was actually already written before the accident happened.
Yeah,
Um,
it was already recorded.
It was already recorded. Yeah, sorry, it was already written, recorded. It was all laid down. Before we get into the song, was this song a necessity for this album? Did you feel like it had to be addressed in some kind of way on this album, or was it something that just kind of worked its way into the overall theme and feel of the album?
Good question. I don't really remember how the theme for this song came about. I know how the song came about, and it was all Jay.
Yeah, Jay drove this one home.
Yeah,
Oh.
if you want to
There you go.
give us
No, I came
some sage-old
band
advice.
one day and I said I have.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah, I came
Yeah.
to band. Yeah, no, and we usually have a pretty traditional way of writing songs. Usually Ryan or Nick or has like an idea or a melody or a riff or something, and we kind of build off that. But I've been sitting on a couple of beats, and there's a Green Day song out there called Forever Now off of Revolution Radio, and there's a tempo change in that song. So I was like, oh, I'd really like to try to do something like that. So I came up with all these beats and this whole structure in my head with no instrumentation in mind. And I came to them and I said, hey, check out this 2-minute and something drum track and see if you guys can write anything over it. And the song kind of came together within 20 minutes.
Seriously,
it wasn't long.
Yeah, Ryan had a riff.
I had a riff.
Kevin just started. He had a riff he was sitting on.
It was like the first thing he played. He was like, yeah.
And I was
this
like,
works.
that sounds great. And then Kevin just thought of a lead, and it all happened.
Yeah,
I don't
Nick
remember when
thought of the
lyrics
chorus in the
came.
shower.
Yes, yeah. That's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
like a little
Yeah.
secret of mine. Ryan will be always just like, in the little living room area of our mom's basement, because that's what's happening, whatever. And
with their parents again.
yeah, and I'll be in the shower and he'll be jamming his idea out, and it'll just hit me through the white noise of the water hitting me. I can actually just clearly make out what I want to say, or the message for the song or something. I really don't know how it works, but then
Sometimes I depend on that.
yeah, I
I
just
just sit outside the shower and just wait till
I just come
I'll
out,
call and say, "Do you think of
come out of the
anything else?"
bathroom in my towel,
Yeah.
like
this needs to be what it is.
yeah.
That's what he says.
Are
me-
we ever
he
gonna get
says
it
me every
right?
time. Are we ever
Are
going
you
to get
ever
it
gonna
right? And because we couldn't figure out what a chorus was going to be, and it seemed kind of simple at the time for us as far as lyrically goes, just to have that statement be it, but it just felt so real, and especially the verse lyrics are very deep and then and very rhythmic, so making that shift to the chorus vocal being a little bit more simple, a little bit more singable, and then the second chorus it still gets that big note, the big note action, and that's it. It's one of my favorite tunes on the record because of just the different dynamic that went into writing this song,
Right.
in comparison to the traditional method of writing our how we normally write them.
Right.
I guess I should say.
All right, on that note, let's dive into it. This is 1117.
Turn the steering wheel to the left to feel the embraces. Some oncoming headlights, but there ain't a soul racing on war tonight. Yeah, either hide from the shame or admit you're afraid that nothing's ever really gonna go your way. It sucks, I know, losing control when everyone else seems like they've got it together. Are you ever gonna get it right? Are you ever gonna get it right? Tune the silence out and you're on your own. But there's sad songs burning through your stereo. Down. Either hide from the shame or admit you're afraid. We're all just riding shotgun on some dark highway. It hurts, I know, feeling left alone, but we're all in your backseat singing together with you. Are we ever gonna get it right? Are you
Gold doesn't bother you much anymore, huh? After that?
After that one, it can't.
Nope.
Yep.
Josie just actually commented again saying, my question from 1906, date, like the timestamp, I totally missed it up at the top. She wants to know when the Cross Canada Tour is happening, specifically the Western Canada leg.
Patient, Jose.
Yeah,
Just
we're
be
not really
patient.
sure.
Patience.
We're coming to hang and to kiss the puppies, and
Well,
just be patient.
puppy.
It'll happen.
Her dog's dead.
Oh,
No, they've got another one.
You said puppies plural.
Well, whatever. I'm coming. I'm coming to kiss the dogs.
there you go.
The dog. Whatever.
Kevin's coming to see the dog.
I like when she shows up.
Get
She's
another
like,
one.
She's like, my dog's dead now.
She's gonna remember
You're like,
that.
what? Josie.
Guys, you're
Wow.
talking about her like she's not listening.
I was going to say that went sideways quick.
Of course. No, she loves this right now. She's getting the attention. We love talking about her. We love her and Gary.
She got rid of these. She had these terrifying clown posters in her basement, and that's where she put us up. She's like, "You can sleep right here." I was like, "Okay." Ah! Like what?
Kevin,
wanna
has,
sleep
Kevin
down
has
here.
a fear of clowns.
As
Like,
a lot
fear
of
is a bit of an understatement.
as a lot of us do. As a lot of us do. Nice comment from McNorth as well, saying 1117 is a great song. Does so much in such a short amount of time with the tempo change and riffs, etc. Normally, when you come at a song like that, you end up with a confused jumble or jazz.
Or jazz.
I'm-
Or jazz.
I'm
I
always
had to get that comment in there. It's a
Love
great
that.
comment.
Love that. You know, yeah, that one was all about accomplishing as much as we could in as little time as we possible. Our manager, he was like, "Well, we can never go to radio with this song. It only has 2 choruses. Like, it needs another chorus." And we didn't want that.
Right.
We loved it, and there's no way to take it back up after the tempo drop like that.
Yeah.
Like,
We just said it's not going back to. I guess it's not going to radio.
I guess not.
But
I
then
guess
guess
not.
what? Our radio tracker wanted it to go to radio.
Bingo.
So it got on in Sirius XM The Verge.
Sweet.
Some people are just
Someone's
wrong.
gotta break the rules.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all about breaking the rules.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what makes things different nowadays, right? Like if you just follow the formula for the sake of following the formula, you really don't end up pushing yourself any further, right?
Yeah.
well, yeah, you don't end up writing anything that anyone really cares to listen to because they could just go and listen to something else.
I wanted to touch on this off the top, but then we kind of got rolling with things. In March of 2020, we briefly alluded to it. You guys were in the studio with me at LU Radio, and oh, sorry, Ryan's bringing the mic closer. See, you would think that after hosting a radio show that I would know to speak directly into the mic. But at the time, you guys were in, and we talked about the Student Choice Initiative. Kev did a ton of talking about the Student Choice Initiative. And if anybody isn't familiar, you might be from across the other side of the world. Here in Ontario, something was imposed basically where students could opt out of recreational fees that would feed funds into like the art programs and any like clubs and the radio station and a bunch of stuff like that.
Isn't the student newspaper too?
Student newspaper as well, like everything, basically everything. I don't know if you guys heard or not.
It's over.
It's over.
Nice, we won.
We won.
Bulls on parade, baby.
Bulls on parade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sick.
the Ford government announced last week that they aren't pursuing it at the Supreme Court level, so it's dead in the water. So
Yes.
we did it, guys.
Yes,
We did it.
Hey.
Amazing.
Now get rid of parking fees on campus. That's bullshit.
And there you go.
What do you want to scream about next?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not done with these people. I don't even go to school anymore. Well, right now, or anymore. But park for free.
Park for free.
University, hospital, you should be able to park there.
I don't
Totally.
disagree.
Totally.
Let's kick some doors down.
Kev has
Let's
now.
go.
a court.
Let's go.
Kev has now found a new passion. Okay, we're gonna jump into the next one. If you want to leave, straight up rocker, right? This is a straight up rocker, but it takes a slightly different perspective and attitude for you guys. Takes more of a stance of control in a situation, perspective that we don't tend to hear from you a lot. Now, is this a case of you holding a mirror up to yourself, or is this a case of what I just described?
Oh, it's very much a mirror.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it's very much taking a look at yourself.
I combed through that song trying to find some kind of hint as to whether it was or not, and I didn't find it. So, good songwriting, man.
Thank you. I mean, I can't just tell you what it's
Or
about,
bad.
but or bad, yeah, or poor songwriting.
Who knows?
Who knows? People seem to like it,
Yeah.
but Yeah, no, it's a fun tune. This song was another one of those ones that was kind of a struggle to figure out. It had a couple different variations, and I remember we were at the studio in Toronto with our producer Derek Hoffman, and having a long day, and I fell asleep on the couch while everybody was trying to do things, and then I woke up to "If You Wanna," like just the straight drums, and went, "All right, we're good."
Yeah, there's a version of this song out there. Well, not out there, but in existence
it's in
that
here.
that
No,
sounds
it's not even in here.
that
files
sounds
are in the
like
computer.
Santana or something.
What? Sorry.
The Santana version of this song.
Oh no, we do have that here.
Give us a taste of it, Kev.
I don't know. how
You
it
don't
goes.
remember it?
Something like that.
I don't know.
It
Yeah.
starts off there.
I don't
It's
know,
just
it's
like
Goes all
funny.
this other stuff.
outrageous version of this song that exists, and then it became a really slow song, and then we got all really miserable on it, and then we just like needed a reset. We were in Toronto at a party. It's my birthday, I think, and then the next
kick
day
in the
came
chest.
back into the studio with a whole new like idea, and it was just like, let's take it back to the original and just do a juiced up version of that.
Reborn as a straight up rocker.
Like the very
Exactly,
original
yeah,
version of
yeah.
it, yeah. Because it started out like the whole song was just me on an acoustic guitar, and I remember being in the studio with Derek working on Fine and line work. He was working away on some stuff in Pro Tools, and I was just in town, and I had the acoustic guitar, and I started doing the "If you wanna leave, well there's the door. I'm sorry, darling, I can't help you anymore." Just on my acoustic guitar, right?
Yeah.
And he just like instantly stopped and turned around, and so that's when we knew there was something to it, like a simple message, and we wanted it to really come back to that. So that's why that first chorus is just completely sucked in.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So
Let's go.
If you want to leave, the Honest Heart Collective.
Met you out in the valley where young lovers go to find themselves. I call you there feeling scared and unaware of how to love somebody else. Like the wolves in hell in the dead of the night, I can hear you crying out for more. Believe me, I understand. If you wanna leave, well, there's the door. I'm sorry, darling, I can't help you anymore. It's time you looked after yourself. Be strong, be sure. So if you wanna leave, well, there's the door. Yeah, yeah, well, there's the door. You don't have to go by yourself. No one makes it through this valley alone. See the scavengers up on the eastern ridge, and they'll be hustling all night long. If you wanna leave, well, there's the door. I'm sorry, darling, I can't help you anymore. It's time you looked after yourself. Be strong, be sure. So if you wanna leave, well, there's the door. Yeah, well, there's the door. I met you out in the valley where young lovers go to find themselves. You wanna leave, well, there's the door. I'm sorry, darling, I can't help you anymore. It's time you looked after yourself. Be strong, be sure. So if you wanna leave, well, there's the door. Yeah, if you wanna leave, well, there's the door. I'm sorry, darling, I can't help you anymore. It's time you looked after yourself. Be strong, be sure. So if you wanna leave, well, there's the door. Yeah, well, there's the door. Yeah, well, there's the door.
Home of the shortest guitar solo in the history of rock music.
Yeah, baby.
I love that. Honestly,
Gotta hit 'em.
There's something about the fact that that is so short and sweet, and then it just jumps right back in at that point, completely unexpected, and it still grabs me by surprise. I love that about this song. The changes in that song are just phenomenal.
Kevin's the god of sizzlers, in my opinion.
That's not true,
In
but-
my opinion, every song on this record has juicy Kevster moments.
Thank you.
Every single one.
Well, not more harm, but every single one. No more, but every single other song, except for that.
Sometimes you got to learn when to like that. Sometimes a little bit less is really more. You know, it's short, but what else am I supposed to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, and this was definitely where I think we learned that. I remember Line Work being like the first song where I was like, I'm gonna kind of take a backseat on this one and just like come up with a simple melody that is just sound or a vibe instead of just trying to like find notes that I like. Kind of just a mentality change, you know?
It's amazing you mentioned that, because to touch on a couple of different things about the production of this album, and one of the things I was going to comment on was your playing on this album feels very different. There's a very it's like a strong, quiet approach to it that isn't quiet. It's there, but it's exactly what you just described. It's present, but it's not overbearing. Nothing's overbearing. The production of this album. Now, you guys have always prided yourself on the production of your music, from Liars Club all the way up. This album has a very, very full and rich sound to it. Was that just a natural evolution? Was that something that Hoffman brought in, that you guys were on?
I think we've always kind of wanted the sound full, you know?
Yeah.
Like big and full. We've always kind of liked that sound.
We're fans of hard, heavy rock music. You know, like growing up, it was all about hardcore. You know, big breakdowns, lots of heavy music. We definitely bring that to the table with our, like, especially anyone who's seen us live. They know, like, you tell what what we grew up on. It's very, our influences are very present with us on stage when we're up there.
Yeah.
But as far as like, Hoffman brings so much to the table for us. I can't even.
He's a special dude.
Yeah,
Like,
he understands
just
us.
Knows. Like, I don't know how else to say it besides that. It's just like every time I like just plug in with him and I'm sitting at the desk with him and we're working on stuff, I'm just like, I'll stop and I'll be like, I just love the way it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Just and he's like, oh yeah, you like it? Like, for him it's just nothing. He's like, oh yeah, cool. Who would have thunk? And I'm like, it's literally exactly what I wanted to sound like. How did you just like pluck that sound out of thin air?
That's what great producers
Totally,
do, right?
but I was just going to say, I think that a part of that comes from we have a shared background. He comes from the same place we do as well.
Right.
So like we're both these kind of like ex-scene kids into heavy music and punk stuff, and now kind of making our way into stuff that's a little bit more accessible. So we're all kind of treading the same ground together.
Right.
And I don't think he works with a ton of bands like us anymore.
No.
So he kind of gets that opportunity to flex that muscle a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's just
still got it.
He's a star. He's a
Yeah,
star.
he's
Awesome.
Yeah.
Kev, you got some backup here. Aaron M. commented saying, free parking, better wages for grad students,
Boom.
better mental health support and
Preach.
insurance coverage for
Boom.
students. There's a lot to tackle.
No more unpaid internships.
Bingo.
Why do you just get people to work for you for free? That's so stupid. You know, people are like, oh, this will be great for my career. It's like,
For
think about the
experience, right?
favor you're doing for some most likely rich asshole somewhere else.
Right.
Why does that guy get a free lunch, you know?
Oh,
I'm pissed.
We got
Yeah,
Kev,
well
we got
said,
Kev riled
buddy.
up. We
Well
got Kev
said.
riled up.
Well, speaking of being riled up, I fixing something real quick. But I just wanted to say that I think Kevin is one of those very unique guitar players who manages to make it sound like that's his voice.
Yes.
Very much so, you know, and when he gets even a couple bars to shine, he just makes the most of it. And it's funny because Kevin and I are always demoing together, searching for something, and we always like, we've found our system now that works really well, and it's just the stuff that he's able to come up with in the demoing stage is just always super impressive, because he never wants to do something that he's done on his own, like already. He never just wants to recycle something. So it's always about finding something new and exploring, and that's something I really, really admire about him.
Yeah.
Love
Wait, his
room.
next Sizzler.
Cheers.
He's got another Sizzler coming out real soon.
I completely disagree with
And I
whatever
love
he
it.
said. But at the same time, the whole, I guess, like, I think it's just the imposter syndrome speaking. But at the same at the same time, when I play guitar, it is just like what I'm thinking. It's what do you
extension.
want to say?
Yeah, it's an extension of
And it's
yourself.
Yeah.
And
That's
in a
kind of all there is to it.
no, honestly, but honestly, to be in a band scenario and be able to have that come through, I mean, that shows the respect that you all have for one another and what you do with your music, because everything comes through. Nothing gets lost in the shuffle. Everything is heard through the album and previous albums. But this one in particular, the production, the way that it was written, everything about it just comes together in such a phenomenal way.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you. I'm very happy with this record.
Good. I'm glad you guys are happy with this record, because the rest of us are. Fine is the next one that we're going to talk about. Going back to the oldest track on the album.
Yeah.
Was so I know you guys had mentioned this was potentially going to be an EP, but how did Fine kind of spearhead all this? Because this is over 2 years old now, guys.
So Fine came out. So we actually started recording this record August of 2018, like right after Grief Rights, because we just said, oh, well, we thought Grief Rights had flopped in the first couple months. Things just weren't really going our way. We had made some traction, and then we got a couple major setbacks, and then we so we said, fuck it, we got to go back into the studio. So we went back in, we recorded Fine and line work, and then we did in like the following year when the Raptors won the championship. We were in Toronto. That's when we were recording If You Want to Leave, 11:17, and Funeral. And so the whole plan was, we're going to put this thing out, early 2020. And so let's get a single out before this tour. So Fine came out. And so this record's been delayed a couple times. I don't know if everybody knows that, but they know it now. So that's why Fine came out so much further ahead than the rest of the songs did.
That makes a ton of sense, but no, I don't know that a lot of people would realize that it was just delayed and delayed and delayed, and that you guys were following up Grief Rights that quickly because of some perceived failure of sorts. And
that was before we did the old Spotify trick and
Right.
re-released a couple tunes as singles so we could submit them for playlisting after they had enabled that feature.
Right.
And then Lonely Bones just went,
Yep.
for us. So, but yeah, so that we just wanted to go in and get some follow-up stuff done. But that was about it.
All right, we got another question for Kevin here. McNorth again wants to know, do you sing/hum your solos and fills, or do you always find them through noodling?
A bit of both. I find that I'm definitely a noodler. I love to just sit there and noodle. I'll do it for hours. I'll just go, whatever. But sometimes I'll just be like, I'm gonna sing this solo, and I feel like I play so much better every time I do that. It's so weird. But it's only when things are super loud and I can be like, wow, it's I'm usually just being like, I'm gonna go off the rails on this one.
Right. So you don't typically hum, but when it gets loud,
if I'm trying to outdo the amp.
Awesome. Awesome.
Just screaming it.
I assume Andrew Stone just yelled out Lakeside.
That checks out.
Does it check out? Okay.
Andrew Stone.
He also
Another
says he's starting a Liars Club fan page.
Yeah, baby.
There you go. Get on it.
One
Get on
time-
it, Andrew.
We just asked him if he would buy us some gear, and he just did it. He's like, "Yeah, I like you guys. Cool. So thank you, Andrew."
Yeah, well, we
I'm
were
just waiting
supposed to
there on the
supposed to
boards.
trade him for guitar lessons.
Yeah, I owe him.
And then
We're
the
both-
pandemic hit.
Yeah, he's busy as hell. We're busy as hell.
But we're gonna get you there.
You
buddy.
hear that,
We'll get
Bob?
you.
Don't
We
sign
haven't
up with
forgotten.
Kevin.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Well, yeah.
You'll never get your lessons.
No.
Payment up front, though.
No refunds.
Yeah, I'm gonna send an invoice for the predated lessons.
All right, where are we at?
Let's play Fine.
Okay, let's play Fine.
We're almost there.
something with you. I can feel those words that you're breathing. They're the furthest thing away from the truth. Our reflections can't keep secrets. When you walk away, they're following you. No one knows that there's a reason why I tell myself that something is wrong with me, yeah, with me, yeah. Wrong with me, yeah. There's always something with you. There's always something. You say you're fine, but I don't believe it. There's always something. You say you're fine, but I don't believe it. There's always something with you. I can feel those words that you're breathing. They're the furthest thing away from the truth. Our reflections can't keep secrets. When you walk away, they're following you. No, I know that there's a reason. There's a reason why I know. Oh, I hope that there's a reason. I tell myself that something is wrong with me, yeah, with me, yeah. Wrong with me, yeah. Wrong with me, yeah, with me, yeah.
Two years in plus listening to that song and it doesn't get old. It really doesn't. It's I don't know.
You know, you know what the secret is?
What?
So the chorus adds one progression every time. So it starts off with two progressions.
Does it actually build?
Yeah. So it starts
gets
off with
longer and
two times
longer.
through, then 3 times through, then 4 times through.
I-
First, second, and third. Yeah.
I had never noticed that there was that kind of add-on to it. It never even dawned on me.
and then like that, and then like
See, now that I know what happens,
you'll get bored of it.
I will get bored of it
Yeah.
now, won't I? Damn it. Why
But
would
that-
you do that to me?
That's one of my favorite tricks on this record was that building that chorus in that way and adding a line to it each time.
Each time.
was really fun.
Um,
Really fun and really special.
really special. There was a question earlier. I believe it might have been from Lionheart Vinyl, but I was going to touch on it as well. They wanted to know, are there any more Lionheart sessions in the works?
No.
No,
No,
not right now.
not right now.
Everything got way too nuts, way too crazy in the.
Is everything
For what?
okay?
I just need the tempo.
For what?
My pedal.
Yeah, I know, but what? For what?
Tempo.
Yeah, but for what? The next song?
Yeah.
We don't play to a click to that song.
Yeah, I know. Well, I still.
I just told you define tempo.
Okay.
The inside scoop on what happens in the studio.
Right. It's like, yeah, no Lionheart sessions. Dot.
Yeah.
Some
No,
weirdness.
the problem is it's just it was a lot. It's a lot of work to coordinate all that stuff. And in the pandemic, we had that time to do it.
Yep.
And then now we kind of don't. And the last time we went to go do a Lionheart session, we got asked to be on live television instead. So we did that.
All right. Because I wanted to bring it up. Last year, you guys released a cover of Taylor Swift's "The Last Great American Dynasty." That
Great
was
tune.
absolutely spectacular,
That's our best YouTube video ever.
hands down.
We
And-
have Taylor to
and
thank for that.
honestly, like the amount of people trying to get Taylor Swift to see it alone
Mm-hmm.
was phenomenal. It was great. Like
it was nice.
it was really cool. Was there ever any discussion about including it on the album, or was it like just specific a Lionheart session?
Just a
thing?
Lionheart session, yeah. Our friend Sarah was like, you guys could cover this song. We just immediately realized, yeah, we could. Like, we just put it in a key that suits Ryan's voice, and just launching into the chorus like that is really fun. But yeah, we knew it was just gonna be a Lionheart session, just something fun that if people stumble upon our YouTube page and they find that little nugget,
Actually,
something
hadn't
enjoyable.
even heard that song until
Neither did I.
Neither did I.
yeah, like Jason was just like, "Hey, what about this Taylor Swift song?" And I was like, "Yeah, I like Taylor Swift, but like I don't know about covering." And then I listened to the song, and like within I think halfway through the song, I was like, "This will be awesome."
Mm-hmm.
That's such a good song.
And you guys had Jimmy on there playing some
Oh, yeah.
keys too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Too bad Jimmy can't be with us today, this evening, but yeah, we're
The
always
Brez.
usually fortunate enough to have him present for those kind of things.
Right.
He's so good.
I mean, I would say to people that like we want to do another Lionheart session. I wouldn't say that it's not in the works.
No,
at
we
it-
do
all.
want
right.
to. Yeah.
We would like to. There probably will be another one. It's just in the future,
Yeah, that's the one thing.
and
we
that's
said.
a very
There's no
broad.
schedule.
That's a broad in the future.
Right.
So
Right. It will happen. It's
Yeah.
just not planned at the moment.
we just
Exactly.
figured, like, well, it's funny though, because we have this space and these people, with their talents, and we have friends with cameras and stuff. So you'd be thinking that, like, we could probably pump those out and just
do it.
just do it. But there's just so much else going on in our lives.
And,
So
then, and then the problem is we get the
Logistically, yeah.
cameras in here, and then I get real nervous.
Yee.
And
Then we all get real
it gets
frustrated.
Really hot in this room, and then you start getting frustrated. We call it going golfing, right? You
Right.
get 3 good swings, and if you suck, you're gonna suck for the
You're,
rest.
you're
of the
done
day.
for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why, like, you're so sweaty in that video.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah. It's well, that one video is like the 10th or 11th take of it. Tim was here for it. He remembers.
Misery.
Just gave us the old thumbs
That's
up.
another reason why we don't want to do them. Well, we do want to do them, but I don't. I don't.
It's
wanna do them.
hard.
We just need to spend a little bit more
It's hard.
time woodshedding before we hop into them. Like the last time we did it, I think it was like one of the first times we ever played line work together after we recorded it.
Oh.
So it was just like took a while to like get everybody on the same page.
What
Gotcha.
does woodshedding mean?
Practicing.
Okay.
We got a question from Victoria Nicholson that
Oh, hey, Vic.
Vic,
Hey,
what's
Vic.
up?
That looks like Lionheart Vinyl has already made a comment about it, but I'm gonna throw it out to you guys. Can't wait. She says, I can't wait until January to hear the new tunes live. I remember stumbling upon you guys when you opened for Ivory Hours in Sudbury many years ago.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Townhouse Tavern.
Are you ever?
Blast from the
Are y'all ever going to do Liars Club on vinyl?
Maybe.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Apparently, Lionheart Vinyl says we're currently having those discussions with the band.
It's been a
Victoria."
it's been
It's
a
been a
conversation.
topic of
Yeah, it's been a
conversation.
conversation.
Yeah, we doing a special limited drop of that again.
Yeah.
There's like same thing we did with the live records.
Well, who would pick one up? That's what I want to
Yeah,
know.
I want to
Drop
know
in the
who would
there
buy
you
one.
go.
Drop it in the comments if you would buy one. That'll
Would
encourage us to
you-
get them
yeah.
pressed. Yeah. Because we have to know by the end of
Tomorrow.
like December.
Tomorrow. You need to know by the end of tomorrow.
to
So
know in
everybody
5
just
minutes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's 100 people in there and says
Spread the
they'll buy
word.
one, we'll
Yeah.
get 'em- We'll get.
Then
it
we'll
going
get it
tomorrow.
done.
Yeah.
It'll be. I'm not making any comments.
It
on-
could happen.
Honestly, I'm just avoiding this next section for a certain reason. But you guys close out the album with a gut punch uppercut combo. Like this is a hell of a way to end an album, guys.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it.
Funeral.
Yeah.
It's
we
a
did the
bold
thing.
choice.
It was
it's
an-
a bold choice.
Wasn't intentional.
Well, I'll tell you this. I heard you're worried about me was gonna be the
The
closer.
last-
It was supposed to be the final song on the record.
That was a bit of an audible right before.
The first song was supposed to be 11:17.
Okay.
But I was losing sleep about that, as I just ruminate on shit, and I was like, well, I just think that like I heard you're worried about me be the first track,
Yeah.
and it was the last song we did for the record, so it had this new kind of exciting vibe to it, and we're like, well, yeah, we'll tack it on last because it has that epic outro, and it's like perfect for an album ender.
Mhm.
But for me, it was like this is our kind of new sound, like so let's start things off with our new sound.
Yeah, because that was the last song written.
It was the last song written and
For this
everything. So
album.
yeah, and then also it incorporates more harm, in
yeah.
it. So it's like kind of a perfect first song. So it was supposed to be the final song was going to be Funeral and then that song. No More was not supposed to be on the record.
I have questions about that later.
Okay,
so
we can talk about that
we
after
can talk
after
about that after.
Funeral, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Sorry about the double.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oof. Listen. Oof. All right, let's get into the last 2 tracks on the album.
Just make sure this acoustic guitar sounds all right.
Okay.
We did sound check it earlier, so.
Just a quick little tune-up here.
Yeah, I was trying to get it tuned earlier, but she's being difficult. Something sounds out.
Banter. Anybody? Banter?
You know any good jokes besides Ryan's tuning skills?
Have you ever
I've
noticed?
thrown a stick at him for taking too long on stage. You remember that, Ryan? Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It hurt.
A few
Where?
times.
In the back.
In the back, yeah, like behind him. I was behind him.
Not on his body.
Well, no, it was years ago.
No, where were we? Like what stage?
On stage.
What?
On stage.
Oh my god.
I don't know where it was. I don't know the city or what. It was more supposed to be like a joke,
joke.
but I kind of.
There we go.
Yeah,
We're
I
good.
gave him a fast pitch. No.
Yeah, it was like in between 2 songs.
Fast pitch.
We're all good there.
Sports.
Fast pitches. Yeah, that's what we play sports. We love
we do sports.
All
And
right.
then he looked behind me and he looked right at me and I was like, oh, sorry, man. Can you pass me that stick back? I don't have an extra.
All right, we're good to go. All right, everybody. This is Funeral.
So I went to her grandfather's funeral. I hope you don't mind, but he still feels like family to me. I wish that they spoke more about him than the God that he chose to believe. Yeah, sure, that's what he would have wanted, but it sure as hell don't work for me. So what do you want? The last thing that they say about you to be. So what do you want? The last thing that they say about you to be. Found myself in the back of the church, alone the whole time, waiting for her and her family to leave before I could say my goodbyes. It was silent as the lights went out. So I mumbled alone to the darkness, I miss you, pal. So what do you want? The last thing that they say about you to be. So what do you want? The last thing that they say about you to be. So what do you want? She cut me off by the door on my way outside. Said thank you for coming. I hope that you're doing alright. Take care of yourself, it's what he would have wanted for you. Don't forget who you are, he'd be proud of all those things that you'll do. So what do you want? The last thing that they say about you to be.
that song. And I share with a lot of people on YouTube my sentiment. Bruce Linder commented saying, "This still gives me shivers every time I listen to it." Andrew followed him up with that, and then I will third that notion. There is that song. Please tell me that's the next single, because that could honestly do some big, big things.
We have a video idea for it. That
Yeah, we just need to find the time. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe now we might be able to do it now.
Yeah, probably.
Could make so many people sad.
All right, right? That's what
Sadistic.
That's what people
Power.
respond to, right? That's what people respond to. I think this Edward Ford guy that keeps commenting on here, I think you should get him to host your next one, because he's got some great questions. He says, "I'm sure you hear this all the time, that you guys are going to be famous," which I agree,
Oh, all the time.
right? How are you
My
able,
mom tells me every morning.
right?
She wakes me
wants
up, a little kiss, and says, "You're gonna be famous."
So he wants to know, how are you able to fully appreciate the ride to fame while also navigating the real world stuff that fans may not see?
The real world stuff is what matters.
Like
and all
having no money, is that what he means?
Maybe. It's your interpretation of what he asked.
Manage the real world stuff. Well, I feel like right now, most of the time, all we do is manage the real world stuff. Like, we don't actually get to do this as often as some people might think we do this.
Right.
You know, because perception is reality, and for a lot of people, they just see pictures of us and stuff online, stuff from shows, and they think, "Oh, that's their lives. That's really cool." But in reality, like, we all have jobs, and
We
that,
paid for all this stuff by working at Cineplex and bars
and just like we have
customer service for way too long.
So there's your behind the scenes.
right.
It's all
like,
real world. There's none of this like fame cloud stuff. Like it's all just.
Well, I mean, there is in a sense that like there is the perception of like what we do on Instagram, and for example, every time I run into somebody that I haven't seen since high school, they're always amazed that I'm in town. You know how many people don't realize I actually still live here?
oh yeah, right.
You know?
Well, you guys are back in town. It's like, well,
Yeah,
yeah.
my parents
like-
didn't move.
It's not what people really think it is. you know?
Totally,
It's
yeah,
just a real world out there.
All right, I'm going to let you guys kibosh this question if you want to, because I was phoning it in with this question. After funeral, I was just immediately going to ask, so what do you want the last thing that they say about you to be?
That I was a good person.
Oh, that was quick. I didn't expect anything that quick.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't want it to be some asshole preaching about what my sins were and about how many sins I had and that I wasn't a perfect person and God's gonna give me forgiveness. I don't want that.
I got that sentiment from the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all that. That's what I don't want it
Yeah.
to be. But I just want people to remember that I was a good person who tried to live a life of, tried to do what I wanted to do with my life.
Nice. Nick?
yeah, nothing.
You
I
gonna
don't really,
kibosh
I
it?
really don't care if they say anything really about
Okay.
me at the end of the day.
Kev?
I'd say I want people to know that I rode this shit till the wheels fell off.
Never let the party die.
That's what I got.
Never let the party die.
Not even just partying. Like,
Does he sound like a boring guy?
yeah,
to
it's making
you?
me say, yeah. Like, I want people to know that I'm going full gas, pedal to the metal all the time.
It's why we decided to do this show naked, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Just balls to the wall.
All
keep
right.
them clapping.
Keep 'em- Jay?
I made people laugh. I like making people, enjoy themselves.
That tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks.
It really does.
Yeah.
You got to bring joy to others people's lives.
Yeah.
Others people's.
That exactly. Yeah.
All right, we're going to close out the album here. As someone who can relate to the content of this song, and you'll have to forgive me if I get a little emotional while I say this, the vulnerability and honesty of No More is both unbearable and cathartic at the same time. Your lyrics often come from a very personal place, but this is a step beyond. And this is what I had mentioned before, Nick, that I had a question about this. Was it hard to include this song on the album?
For me, it was. I'm tearing up just thinking about it. Um, it it put a cap on this thing. We weren't all going down a very good road together. It was a lot of bumps in the road, a lot of setbacks, and I wasn't in a very good place mentally, and I wasn't a very good friend or a very good bandmate for a little while, probably for a long while, and I'm still surprised these guys kind of stuck it with me, and it kind of reached this boiling point where something had to change or this thing was going to end. And after that boiling point, I'm not really sure exactly what happened in the making of this song. I just kind of came up to the studio one day and wrote it and recorded it in the same day and slept here and then forgot about it. And then we'd fix things, we'd patch things up in a way in the ways that we needed to. And we still, we're always still forever working on it, but I would say that we're better friends than we've been, because of it reaching that point where something needed to change. And it was very difficult for me to want to put it on the record because I didn't know how people were going to respond to it in that way, because it is essentially a farewell.
Mhm.
But I remember we were digging 6 months later after it all kind of happened, and we were getting back into it, and we were it was clicking through ideas, like things that were on my hard drive, and it was under some different name, and I pulled it up and played it, and everybody's sitting on the couch, and I just hit play on it and I just started playing it through, and then I remembered what it was, and everybody was just silent. And I don't know what it means to everybody else, but there was a lot of hugs and a lot of tears that day. And then Nick said, "Dude, like this has to be on it."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to me, the raw artistry that he was showing, it was like nothing else that he had done. And I thought it would be, as vulnerable and scary of a song as it is, it would be foolish not to include it on an album like More Harm, just to show the authenticity. And it's like, there's like a lot of our songs are about stuff that's made up, frankly. There's a lot of stories. This record, not so much, but this was like the most real it's gotten. And I thought, people need to see this side of you and of, what can be under the band's mantle. And like, I just think that like, it's an incredible addition, and it's hard. And like, you never even played it. So like, here today is going to be the first performance of the song ever. Like, we never even wanted to play this at a show. Ryan said he never wanted to play it at a show because like, it's too personal. It's really not for people, but I guess like the best work.
It is for people.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for including it on the album, because we're not alone in the way that we feel at those most desperate times. There are a lot of us out there. This is an important song. I want you to know that, and I want to thank you for including it on the album.
Thanks, man.
And whenever you're ready, if you need to take a second, I can banter.
I got it.
All right.
Don't anybody else have anything they wanted to add?
No, I mean,
Be vulnerable.
yeah.
If you need,
Allow yourself to.
Honestly,
allow
this
yourself to be
song- this
vulnerable.
song,
is
like,
a big lesson in that.
we had patched things up, but this song is kind of like it is it was like the final piece for forgiveness, because there was a part of me that still felt like not satisfied, and to see, when he showed us all that, it was like we were all like, no, it has to go on the album, because it was the final healing that I think we all needed. And yeah, so yeah, it's a great departure for a dark chapter in our lives, and yeah,
The healing begins.
now, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is No More.
If I were you, yeah, I'd hate me. I promised you the world, then burnt it down for all to see. Well, a few friends have already said it, but the words caught in your mouth. Hey, brother, I'd understand if you let your darkness out. It's past my time anyway. After 27 years, I'd have dug my grave, but I stuck around for another, 'cause I was too scared to swing. Sometimes I feel like Grandpa with that shotgun in his mouth. I wouldn't want you to find me, so I arranged for someone else. Well, you don't want to watch a grown man cry like you've seen it all before. And I'm crying out for someone, but my voice don't work no more. No more. When I drive this intersection, I pray that it's the one. Somebody else runs a red light, drive aside, and I'm done. It's always hard to work with a soul that thinks it's born to run. I'm sorry I let you down. I'm sorry I let you down.
No More.
End the
Guys.
stream.
Right?
No
Right? Thank you for that. Thank you for all of this. I really don't have any more words to say. If you guys have any parting words for everybody listening out there, have at her.
I would just like to say thank you to Ali from Gramrphone for making this happen and sitting with me online. He's in the UK, so he's 5 hours ahead of us. But he sat with me for a whole afternoon to bring this thing together and make this work. I thank our distributor AWAL for also helping us bring Ali and us together. Our manager Jason for sticking with us through this whole ride. Our sound engineer Tim for keep making sure everything's rolling smoothly. Want to
Bob
thank
Menard.
you, Bob, for
Thank you so
coming
much,
in
Bob.
and hosting this. We really
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank-
it because it would have been kind of different. It would have been difficult the four of us doing this doing this right now. So would have just gone on forever.
Yeah,
so
it feels a little less narcissistic having you here,
that's
or more.
what-
Honestly, I don't know.
Whatever role I need to play.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And everyone for tuning in, everyone for listening to More Harm, everybody who picked up a copy of it or is listening to it on streaming platforms,
Sharing it with your friends.
sharing it, spreading the word, watching our videos, everybody who's buying our merch, everyone.
Thank you.
Big thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, take it easy, everyone.
Have a great night.
That's about it.
No?
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Thank you.
Good night.
Awesome. It was great.